Have you ever felt like your energy is fading faster than it used to? Like some mornings, even before your feet hit the floor, you already feel tired? You're not alone. Growing older can feel like a series of little trade-offs, less energy here, more aches there, but it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, there are places in the world where growing older isn't seen as a decline, but as a vibrant, rich chapter of life. One of those places, Japan. Now, Japan isn't just famous for cherry blossoms, sushi, and Mount Fuji. It's also known for having one of the longest life expectancies on Earth. In places like Okinawa, it's not unusual to meet someone who's 100 years old and still laughing with friends, gardening in the morning sun, or dancing at a neighborhood festival. And here's the thing, it's not just luck or good genes. It's habits, simple things they do every day that keep them feeling younger, longer. So today, I want to share with you 6 of those powerful Japanese longevity habits, things that people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are already doing to feel more alive, more connected, and more at peace. And the best part? You don't have to move to Japan to start. You can begin right where you are, today. Let's start with something simple but powerful, purpose. In Okinawa, there's a word they use, ikigai. It means reason for being. Not just a job or a title, but something deeper. It's that reason you get up in the morning, that thing that makes you feel needed and alive. For some people, ikigai is taking care of grandchildren. For others, it's tending to a small vegetable garden or writing poetry. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to matter to you. I once spoke with a woman in her late 80s who started painting watercolors after retiring. Every morning, she'd sit by her window and paint the flowers in her backyard. She told me, when I paint, I forget I'm old. That's the power of ikigai. It gives your day direction. It tells your brain and your body, hey, we've got something to live for. If you're retired or no longer working full-time, you might feel like some of your structure has disappeared. But this is the perfect time to rediscover what lights you up. Maybe it's volunteering once a week. Maybe it's writing a letter to your grandchild or mentoring someone younger. You don't have to be busy all the time, but you do need something that brings you joy and meaning. So ask yourself, what's one small thing I can look forward to doing tomorrow? That's your starting point. Now, while purpose feeds the soul, movement keeps the body humming. And that brings us to our second Japanese secret: natural movement throughout the day. In many parts of Japan, especially in the smaller villages, people don't necessarily exercise the way we think of it in the West. You won't always find them doing high-intensity workouts or lifting weights at a gym. Instead, they move naturally and often, gardening, walking to the market, sweeping their porches, stretching when the sun comes up. In fact, many elderly Japanese people still squat to sit, kneel to eat, and sleep on futons on the floor, routines that keep their hips, knees, and core engaged daily. These movements might seem small, but over time, they add up to better balance, more strength, and fewer falls. Now, I'm not saying you should sleep on the floor starting tonight, but think about how you can sneak more gentle movement into your day. Can you walk to the corner store instead of driving? Can you stretch while waiting for the kettle to boil? How about sweeping your porch each morning while enjoying the breeze? These little actions don't feel like much, but they're how longevity is built, step by step, habit by habit. I know one gentleman, 72 years old, who started walking 10 minutes in the morning and 10 at night. He says it clears his mind and helps him sleep better. That's just 20 minutes a day, and it's made all the difference. Movement isn't about punishing your body. It's about honoring it. Think of it as your way of saying, thank you, for all the years it's carried you. Gentle, regular movement tells your joints, your muscles, and even your brain, we're still going. Let's keep going. And if you're worried about pain or stiffness, remember this: the less we move, the more we lose. Start small. Wiggle your toes when you wake up. Do arm circles while watching the news. Dance in the kitchen while cooking dinner. Make it joyful. Movement isn't a chore, it's a celebration. So far, we've talked about finding your purpose and embracing gentle movement, 2 things the Japanese do so naturally, they don't even call them secrets. But when we look closer, they are keys to a long, happy life. And here's the best part: you already have everything you need to begin. Now that we've explored how purpose and movement can breathe new life into your day, let's move on to the next habit, something quiet, yet deeply powerful, that the Japanese practice often but we sometimes forget. I'm talking about mindful eating. In many Japanese households, meals are more than just a time to eat. They're a moment of gratitude, connection, and presence. You won't often find people eating while scrolling through their phones or rushing to finish. Instead, meals are taken slowly, intentionally. There's even a practice called Hara Hachi Biyu, a Confucian teaching that means, eat until you're 80% full. That one habit, believe it or not, can make a world of difference. By stopping before you feel completely full, you give your body time to catch up. You avoid the sluggishness that often follows overeating. And over time, you may even feel lighter, more energized, and more in tune with what your body truly needs. I know this can sound simple to the point of silly, especially if you grew up hearing, finish everything on your plate. But there's wisdom here. You're not denying yourself food, you're giving yourself the gift of awareness. You're tuning in, savoring the textures, the flavors, the little pleasures. And in doing so, you're creating a healthier relationship with food. Try this the next time you eat. Pause after each bite. Put your fork down. Take a breath. Notice the taste. Ask yourself, am I still hungry? Or just eating because it's there? These little check-ins help retrain your appetite and can quietly transform how you feel throughout the day. And if you're cooking for yourself, make it a ritual. Light music, a clean counter, maybe even a favorite apron. Cooking can be a joy, not just a task. I once met a retired teacher who told me, I cook for myself like I'm a guest. That mindset changed everything for her. Instead of rushing, she took her time. Meals became a way to care for herself, not just fuel up. Now while we're talking about eating, we can't skip what's actually on the plate. And that brings us to the fourth Japanese secret, a diet rich in variety, especially plants and seafood. When you visit small towns in Japan, especially in longevity hotspots like Okinawa or Nagano, you'll notice that meals are colorful, lots of greens, oranges, purples, seaweed, tofu, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, green tea, small portions of fish, not a lot of red meat or heavy desserts. It's not about being restrictive, it's about balance. Most traditional Japanese meals have 5 colors, 5 flavors, and 5 cooking methods. That kind of variety ensures they get a wide range of nutrients without relying on big portions. Now, don't worry. You don't need to overhaul your pantry or start eating seaweed every day. But think about what small shifts you can make. Could you add one more vegetable to your plate at dinner tonight? Could you swap a processed snack for a handful of lightly steamed edamame or some fruit? Could you explore new ingredients just for the fun of it? One gentleman I know, who's 68 and recently retired, decided to start a longevity bowl once a week. Every Thursday, he tosses together a mix of colorful veggies, a scoop of brown rice, and a bit of grilled salmon. Then tops it with sesame seeds and a splash of soy sauce. He says it makes him feel like he's eating in a peaceful Tokyo cafe. And more importantly, it gives him a sense of control over his health. Food isn't just fuel. It's communication with your cells, your organs, your mood. Every bite is either nourishing or depleting. And when you treat food like medicine, and meals like moments, you start to feel different, stronger, lighter, more alive. But the Japanese approach to eating goes even deeper. There's also a powerful sense of appreciation, saying itadakimasu before the meal to express gratitude, not just to the cook, but to the earth, the farmers, the animals, everything that made the meal possible. That spirit of thankfulness, when practiced daily, is its own kind of nourishment. And speaking of thankfulness, that brings us naturally to our next secret. And it's one that nourishes not just the body but also the heart, social connection. In Japanese culture, elders aren't isolated or ignored. In fact, they're celebrated, seen as sources of wisdom, patience, and strength. Many older adults continue to live with family, or stay deeply connected to their communities. They join morning exercise groups in the parks, volunteer at local schools, host tea gatherings with neighbors. There's even a concept called moai, a lifelong circle of friends who support each other emotionally and practically, sometimes even financially. Imagine that, a group of people who know you, who check on you, who laugh with you and cry with you, who grow older right alongside you. It's like having a second family. And the science backs it up. Studies show that people with strong social bonds live longer, recover faster from illness, and feel more purpose in daily life. It's easy, especially after retirement or when health changes, to pull back, to stay home more often, to lose touch. But it's in those exact moments that connection becomes even more important. So here's a gentle nudge. Call that friend you haven't spoken to in months. Join that book club at the library. Start a weekly coffee morning with a neighbor. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. A simple smile, a shared story, a listening ear. That's the medicine of friendship. And if you're someone who feels like your circle has gotten smaller over the years, don't worry. New connections are always possible. Just like a garden, it's never too late to plant new seeds of friendship. Now that we've explored how mindfulness, nutrition, and connection weave into the Japanese way of living long and well, let's take a deep breath together. Because in the next part, we'll explore the final two secrets, one that calms the mind, and one that awakens joy. Let's begin with something many of us long for but rarely take the time to truly embrace: stillness. In Japan, especially among older generations, quiet moments aren't considered empty or wasted. They're sacred. You'll often find older folks sitting peacefully in their gardens, watching the wind rustle through bamboo leaves, or sipping tea slowly in the morning sunlight. This is more than relaxation, it's a deep, intentional practice of calm, of letting the mind settle, of being present. There's a concept in Japanese culture called shikata jienai, which loosely means, it cannot be helped. It's not about giving up, but about accepting what we cannot control. It teaches us to breathe through challenges, to face pain with grace, and to stop fighting against the flow of life. That mental shift, acceptance instead of resistance, can do wonders for your stress levels, your heart, and your peace of mind. One elderly woman I once met in Kyoto told me she starts each day with 5 minutes of silence. No TV, no music, just her and the rising sun. She said, "I watch the light move through the room, and I feel like I'm part of something bigger." That's mindfulness. And it doesn't require special skills or tools, just a willingness to pause. You can start small. Sit by a window for 5 minutes a day. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Listen to the sounds around you, the wind, the birds, maybe even your own heartbeat. Let your thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them. With time, that practice becomes like a gentle anchor, keeping you steady even when life feels uncertain. If prayer is part of your routine, lean into it. If journaling helps, write what you're grateful for. If you enjoy quiet walks, let each step be a meditation. These are not luxuries, they're lifelines. Studies show that chronic stress is linked to nearly every age-related disease, heart issues, memory loss, immune decline. But on the flip side, people who practice stillness and mindfulness, even for just a few minutes a day, sleep better, feel calmer, and stay sharper. This practice isn't about shutting out the world. It's about becoming more aware of it, and more at peace within it. And now, let's talk about one final secret, one that might be the most joyful of all. In Japan, there is a beautiful spirit woven through daily life: delight in the small things. Whether it's the bloom of a single cherry blossom, the sound of laughter over tea, or the quiet pride in a well-cooked meal, the Japanese have a deep appreciation for life's tiny joys. This is often called wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection, transience, and simplicity. It's the crack in a favorite teacup, the faded photo of a loved one, the quiet elegance of an autumn leaf falling. It's about finding beauty in what is, not in chasing what was or what could be. As we get older, there's a temptation to focus on what's been lost: youth, roles, routines. But wabi-sabi invites us to find peace in what remains, and joy in what is still unfolding. One gentleman I spoke to, a former piano teacher in his 80s, shared how he no longer plays full pieces, but just a few favorite notes each morning. "I don't have to perform," he said. "I just let the music speak to me." That's joy, on his own terms. Maybe for you, it's tending to a few potted plants on your balcony, or reading poems from your youth, or watching the clouds drift by like old friends. Joy doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be noticed. And when we start to notice the small pleasures, the way a grandchild's hand fits in yours, the comfort of warm socks, the aroma of soup on the stove, we begin to remember something essential: life is still full of gifts. So how do we bring more joy into our days, starting now? Begin by noticing. Name one thing today that brought you a smile, even for a moment. Speak it aloud. Write it down. Share it with someone. That one spark of joy can light up an entire afternoon. And if you ever feel too tired, too weighed down to feel joyful, remember this: joy isn't a reward for the lucky. It's a habit, a practice, a choice to open our eyes, even when things are hard. Especially when things are hard. The people of Japan don't have a magic pill for longevity. But they have something better: a way of living that honors the body, nourishes the mind, and fills the heart. A way that sees beauty in aging, not fear. That celebrates connection, not competition. That whispers, every day, this moment matters. You don't have to be in Okinawa to live like that. You can begin right here, right now. So, if today is your day to begin again, even in the smallest way, I'm cheering for you. One breath, one step, one smile at a time. As we come to the end of this journey together, let's take a quiet moment to reflect. Not on what's behind us, but on what lies ahead. The truth is, there's a beautiful kind of freedom that comes with getting older, a clarity, a deeper wisdom, a chance to slow down and live more intentionally than ever before. And the Japanese way of living long and living well reminds us that it's never too late to start. You don't need a radical transformation. You don't need to chase youth. What you need, what we all need, is to reconnect with the simple, meaningful things that bring us back to ourselves. When we look at those who thrive well into their 90s and beyond in places like Japan, we see that it's not about being perfect. It's not about having a flawless body or an exciting life. It's about having something to look forward to when you wake up. It's about choosing to move gently, to eat mindfully, to connect deeply, to breathe through stress, and to find joy in the little things that others often overlook. Maybe for you, that means starting tomorrow with 5 deep breaths before your feet touch the floor. Maybe it means calling a friend you haven't seen in years. Or sitting down with a warm cup of tea and giving yourself permission to do nothing but sip and breathe. You might be surprised by how much strength and peace you already carry inside you, how much your life experience has prepared you for this very moment. You've weathered storms. You've watched the world change. And through it all, you're still here, still growing, still capable of new beginnings. That alone is something worth celebrating. The beauty of the Japanese longevity secrets is that they aren't locked behind gates or hidden in expensive routines. They're already available to you, in your home, in your kitchen, in your breath, and in your heart. You don't need to live in Okinawa to live with purpose. You don't need a Zen garden to find calm. You just need to choose, today, to care for yourself the way you would a dear friend. Let's not forget, every small step matters. Every bite of nourishing food, every mindful walk, every genuine smile you give or receive, it all adds up. This isn't about reaching 100 just for the number. It's about filling your days, however many you have, with quality, presence, and joy. And if today feels hard, if you're tired or discouraged, that's okay too. Remember that even the people in those long-living Japanese communities have days where they feel low. But they don't walk the path alone. They lean on each other. They build rituals. They keep showing up for the little things that matter. You can too. And if you've been feeling disconnected from your health or your hope, please hear this. It's not too late. You're not too old. Your best years are not behind you. They might just be waiting for you to step into them, with a little more grace, a little more presence, and a whole lot more kindness toward yourself. If you need a place to begin, let it be here. Close your eyes for a moment and take one slow, deep breath. Let it fill your lungs. Let it remind you that you're still alive, still capable, still becoming. And if you ever forget these truths, come back to this space. Let this be your gentle reminder that you are not alone, that you matter, that this season of life, perhaps more than any other, is rich with possibility. So whether you begin today with a walk, a letter, a new recipe, or simply a quiet moment in the sun, know this: you are honoring a legacy of wellness that spans generations. You are choosing to live fully, not just exist. And that, my friend, is the most powerful longevity secret of all. Thank you for spending this time with me. It's been an honor to walk beside you on this journey. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, it's never too late to begin living well.